Hello, so I'm creating a short video today on a few things, and I probably won't get to cover all of these in depth, but task and time management is so critical in our daily work, the daily work that we do. And oftentimes I found when I worked in nonprofit organizations that there was a lack of training really around how to actually manage your workflow, as well as implementation of strategies that might have been available to us. And so some of the key strategies are around, just gonna move this out of the way, are around email, tasks, and calendars. And so for emails, starting off with emails, I found that oftentimes things got lost. People would allow things to pile up in their inbox. There would be read and unread messages. And I know lots of people that keep everything in their inbox. So my suggestion in terms of keeping track of things and staying on top of things is that your focus is going to be on an empty inbox. You want to archive emails that you've dealt with as soon as you deal with them. And for things that are going to take longer, I recommend that you shift that over to tasks or calendars. So a way to stay organized within your inbox is to really just move things through as quickly as possible. You're going to want to leave things in your inbox that you want to deal with immediately within the next day or next few days. Otherwise, you're going to want to move things to tasks and calendars. So if you have Outlook, it's really great that all of this is integrated, but I use a few different tools in my own business to manage this workflow. And so I have a Google business account, which gives me access to email and to tasks. But I also use Asana as a task management or project management tool to really keep track of my tasks. And my calendar is also integrated into my email. When I was using Outlook, all three of these things would really beautifully integrate, and you can easily drag and drop things from email to task. So that might be a video that you want to look up, how to add tasks to Outlook and how to drag and drop things so that they can move from an email to a task. That really helps to clear out the email. The other thing that I recommend in terms of email inboxes is that you want to minimize subfolders. I know a lot of people that categorize and organize things by the people that sent them or by the project. And so I recommend as few subfolders as possible. There may be one or two that will be really useful for you as emails that you want to go back to, but for the most part, putting things in an archive or processed mail folder will serve you the best in the long term. Most emails have a really great integrated search function, so you can find anything that you need when you want to come back to it. So the next piece is really about tasks, and I recommend that when you're assigning yourself tasks in a project management software like Asana or with the integrated Outlook feature, or if you have a G Suite, there is a task function. You want to add both a priority level, whether it's important or unimportant, and maybe a due date, because sometimes things that aren't a high priority still have a target due date with them. You're also going to want to consider, are there subtasks that build up to this ultimate deliverable? Are there milestones to this project, people that need to be communicated with? You're going to want to include that in your task or as a subtask if that feature is available to you. In addition, collaboration is really key on a lot of projects. And when I worked in nonprofit organizations, I would often use the integrated Outlook tool to assign tasks to people on my team that were actually managing that work or working with me on the outcome. And then the other piece is using your calendar. And one of the terrible things about a calendar is that you can actually end up completely filling your day with meetings. And that was really, really typical when I was working in nonprofit. The tool that I used with my calendar was specifically blocking off time to work on really important projects that weren't actually a part of my schedule. As well, I used my calendar to block time to schedule specific projects I was working on over time. Especially me as an ENFP, I'm a pressure-prompted individual, and so I really will wait till the last minute unless I set up specific tools to help me to manage my time. The calendar was a key piece of this. I would set aside time that was important to work on really big projects or parts of projects that may not have been urgent in the moment, but ultimately were really important in the long term. As well, use the sharing function so that all of my teams could see my calendar. I prefer showing more calendar details, maybe not the specifics, but at least the title. And so when I do that, if I'm meeting with somebody and it's confidential, then I'll just use initials instead. But I like being able to show the full details so people have an idea as to whether I'm working in the office, and I'd rather not be disturbed for that period of time. I find it's really helpful to show more details rather than busy versus free. Super quick outlook on how I use these tools to manage my workflow, but in my experience, using some very simple tools to manage my time as somebody who is very pressure prompted and in the moment helped me to really achieve success working in nonprofit. So I hope that's helpful.